where we journey together to reconnect with our true. Welcome to the Awakening Hour, where we journey together to reconnect with our true spiritual essence and break free from the chains of Euro-Christian ideology. Each morning at 9 a.m. join me, June the NBIC, as we explore ancient wisdom, forgotten truths, and the power within us to redefine our spiritual path.
The rise will not be televised. It will not be. But grand rising to you guys. Happy that you guys are alive to see another beautiful day. Those that don't know who I am him, Jones, the NBIC, representing that R.O.D, man. Shout out to you guys for your continuous support, leaving all the feedback, the positive, the negative, all things is respected and needed, because it allows me to do what I do best. And that is to keep my foot on all necks, right? Now, as you guys may know, yesterday we had technical difficulties, which prevented me from presenting you guys the story of Amanirenas, the Queen of Kush. So today, I decided to go around, the loophole, right? For those that don't know me, man, when I was in the hood, they used to call me Mr. Improvise, right? We gonna make it work, and I figure how to make it work. But before I do that, I just want to let you guys know that everything that you guys are witnessing right here is for one purpose and one purpose only. Judgment and justice has to be done for the El Kebulan kidnapped. You are a product or the after effect or the generations of the El Kebulans that was kidnapped. I'm going to put it on a shirt, and you guys have to support that and represent represent who you are. You is not an African American. You is not a Jamaican. You're not a Haitian. You're not anywhere where black people reside. That's not who you are. You are an El Kebulan kidnapped. You was kidnapped. And we want our spot back. And we gonna get it back by any means necessary. I just wanted to just say that to you guys. But again, I fixed it. We figured the loophole. We're gonna go around it. And without further ado, let Jones do what he do. Let's go. So, you guys are gonna have to pardon me. So I'm on my shared screen, okay? So I'm gonna do a lot of shared screening. Make sure I got everything in my hand. I'm not gonna show my face because I'm share screening. It's just gonna take too much time. But Queen Amanirenas of Kush, warrior queen who defeated Rome, an in-depth analyst of her life battles and legacies. Some of you guys didn't know about Queen Amanirenas. That's what I'm gonna call her, Amanirenas. Okay. Here's the overview. Queen Amanirenas was one of the greatest Kendakus queens of the kingdom of Kush, modern day Sudan. She is renowned for her leading her people against the Roman Empire after they occupied Egypt in the late 1st century. Now, again, This is BCE. This is before the arrival of Christ. This is before such religion. Okay? Her leadership, war tactics, and resilience ensure the survival and independence of the kingdom of Kush. Time period 40 BCE to 10 BCE. Okay? Cool. Early life and rise to power. Okay? The exact birth is unknown, likely in the mid first centuries BCE in the kingdom of Kush. She was born into a Kushite nobility, so she was born from a royal lineage. And if this is BCE, could this be the story of what's his name, Moses? Because he did marry the daughter. He did marry a daughter of a Kush. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see, when I tell you things don't add up, but anyway, we'll continue. We'll continue. Part of the royal family. The title of the Kandakis or Queen Mothers was a essential role in Nubian governance, suggesting that women held significant political and military power. Right? I'm not. Amanirenas ascended to power either as a co-ruler with her husband, King Tariqatikis, or shortly after his death. She was a warrior queen, listen to the key word, warrior queen, fighting alongside her male counterpart and ruling her kingdom through times of war and peace. The kingdom of Kush, right? Just give you a little rundown, nothing crazy. The kingdom of Kush was located in Nubia, south of Egypt, and was a powerful, wealthy civilization that thrived off trade, agriculture, and ironwork, which means that we was always doing business with each other. Okay? Some of you guys don't know the cause of our downfall was trading with these people. Trading with them, allowing them to come into our space and seeing more than they were supposed to see. Okay? Just want you guys to understand that. All right? It maintained a complex and influential society, particularly due to its control of the Nile River and the key trade routes. The Kandukis were often co-rulers or sole rulers, exhibiting a maternal culture where queens and queen mothers wield considerable power. So this was one of those kingdoms where females sat on the throne as well, where it wasn't just a male dominance type of history, right? They didn't believe in just a male dominance. Again, I have to do research and really look into, you know, the origin and the true history of my sister's culture. Because when I go into the biblos, it always demonized my sisters. When I speak about Mama Love, my computer froze like yesterday, you know? So I have to go figure out what it is about our women that is being suppressed. It's very important that we find these things, especially my sisters. You need to find your strength, your power, and your positions in this earth, or should I say your purpose on this earth. Because the things that you have been fed is not facts. Again, these are not facts. Okay? Cool. Let us continue. It says marriage and husband. Okay? King Taritakis. Amanirenas was married to King Taritakis, who was a co-ruler of the kingdom of Kush. They led joint military campaigns against the Erotian Romans, who were extended their influence into Egypt under Augustus Caesar. His death, King Taritakis died in battle during the early stages of the war with Roman around 24 BCE. After his death, Amanirenas became the primary leader of the Kushites, the resistance against Rome. Okay, the war with the Romans. After the Romans defeated the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt in 30 BCA, they began to expand southward towards Nubia. The Romans exposed taxes on the Kushites, which became a source of conflicts. The Romans viewed the kingdom of Kush as the tributary state demanding gold and tribute. You see this? The tributary state demanding gold and tribute from them. In response to Rome's aggression, Amanirenas led her force along her son Akindadad and launched a surprise attack on the Roman stronghold of Syene, modern Aswana, and Thali around 24 BCE. During the campaign, the Kushites captured status of the during the campaign, the Kushites captured statues of Augustus Caesar and famously decapitated them as a symbol of defiance against the Roman rule. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Gunshot salute. Gunshot salute. Why not? Why not? The counterattack and the Roman response. They're not gonna just, you know, turn over, right? Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay, all right. We good, we good, we good. We live, we live. Perfect, perfect. Let's go back. Let's go back. Romans perfect Gaius Petronius retaliated swiftly by leading a large army to recapture lost territory. He marched deep into Nubia, eventually attacking the capital of Napata, which he captured and destroyed. Despite suffering a significant loss, Amanirenas continued to wage guerrilla-style warfare against the Roman forces. Her ability to hold out against Roman legions for several years her demonstrated her of the Kush army. Okay? The peace treaty. Yes, they wanted peace now. Understand your history. This is why certain things is now spoken of in Black history. You see, they never want to give you any ammunition or motivation, determination, affiliation of anything of your history because of stuff like this. If history like this was in your hands, that means thoughts like this would be in your mind. And if thoughts like this is in your mind and you desire to learn guerrilla style, you understand? They're gonna consider you a hostile. You feel me? Just a FYI, man. It says after several years of conflict, Amanirenas and the Romans entered into negotiations around 22 BCE. The Treaty of the Samos was signed, where the Kushites retained their independence and were exempt from paying tributes to Rome. In addition, the Romans withdrew from the contest southern Egypt territories, making the treaty a diplomatic victory for Amanirenas. And we all know that that treaty was also broken. Okay. Sudan is still hasn't recovered. Religious beliefs. Oh, Donna. Religious beliefs. You know, we're going to have to tap into that. Come on now. It says the Kushites practice a blend of indigenous Nubian and Egyptian religions. We don't do religion. I just put that there for lame's terms. But, spirituality, right? The Amun, the creator god, and the Apidakmak, the lion head war god, were central figures in their pantheon, okay? And their beliefs, okay? Key aspects of Kushites religion. Now we're going to dive a little deeper, okay? The epidemic, the most prominent deity in the Kushite religion or belief or spirituality was epidemic, the lion-head war god. He symbolized military strength, protection in battle, and victory. This would have been a significant figure for Queen Amanirenas, especially as a warrior queen engaged in conflict with the Romans. The Amun. The Kushites also worship Amun, a deity adopted from the Egyptians. Now, you guys know, I forgot the pharaoh that ordered that the whole entire Egypt worship this one God. Prior to that, as you can see through the tablets and you can see through the archives and the writings on the walls, you always see that there's always two. It was never that, one never separated from the other. You always see the king and the queen, man and woman. Everything. It was always plural. It was when this man, I forgot the pharaoh's names, I guess off the top of my head, but this man created this, right? A deity adopted from the Egyptians, but was distant local adaptations. Amun was seen as the creator god and a king of gods, with temples dedicated to him across the Kushite kingdom in Nubia. The Amun was sometimes considered the national god, sometimes considered. Okay, Isis and Osiris. The Egyptian gods Isis and Osiris also played an important role in the Kushites' religious framework. These gods associated with the afterlife and rebirth. This is where you get the story of Jesus from. Okay? Horus, Isis, and Osiris. This is where you get the story of Jesus, people. I can't stress it more that's where this story comes from. Side by side. Okay? Were commonly worshipped by the Kushites as um, as advanced by the fusion of Egyptian and Nubian religious or spiritual practices. We're gonna change. We're gonna just call it spiritual practices. Okay. The Kandiki religious roles. As the Kandiki Queen Amanirenas will have had both a political and spiritual role. Queens were often seen as protectors of the kingdom, not only in the physical realm, but also through their spiritual connections with the gods. GODS. We had a connection with the gods. She likely played a role in leading or overseeing rituals and ceremonies to ensure the divine favor of her kingdom, especially during the times of war. Temples and sacred places. The Kushite kings and queens construct many temples to honor their gods. One of the most significant sites was the temple at the Jebel Barkiel, dedicated to Amanun, which held special religious importance for both the Egyptians and the Kushites. Other temples were built in Mori, the capital of Kush, demonstrating the strong connection between political power and righteous or spiritual pity. Now, why did I decide to make sure I emphasize on the spirituality, aka you guys will want to call religion? Why? As you can see, what Euro Christian ideology is doing to our people is preventing you from connecting to the other side to receive other powers, a power that these people know that they can't fight against. Okay? You see, religion was given unto the slaves. Christianity was brought onto the slave. Islam was brought onto the slaves. Judaism, Hebrewism, Bantuism was brought unto the slaves to keep you enslaved until your grave. These things was intentional because they never want you to connect to your true powers by ceremonies, okay, and rituals, things that they purposely told you it is evil, pagan, savage, Luciferian. And they told you that you must do Christianity, keep commands and feast days that has absolutely nothing, and I repeat, nothing to do with the people. Our people is in the land right now doing tabernacles, but still don't own absolutely nothing. No power. Europeans run all through the land, just like Europeans run all through the Americas, all through our streets. Why is we not? Where's our strength? Oh, wait for it. It's coming. It's gonna drop to the skies, people. It's gonna drop from the skies. Come on now. Come on now. Something is not adding up. How are we still this week? We keeping laws and commands and we doing everything according to the book, but yet we're weak. Yet we're weak. Yet we sit here and we want to argue and go back and forth on who's holding the true doctrine of truth. When the proof is in the pudding, this doctrine is not of ours. This is not our story. Because if it was, we would have power and glory long time ago. You guys really believe, you really believe that these people is gonna hand you a manual to give you strength to defeat such people? Come on now. What game are we playing? What streets are we from? Where did you guys get your studies on life? Where? It can't be straight off the internet. Somebody has to experience real life situations. Somebody had to experience racism. See, the creators is always going to give you signs and reminders. For me, I remember getting pulled over by a state trooper. The man banged on my window like I stole something. I said, yo, my man, what's up with you, my brother? He was like, you're not my brother. I looked at him. I said, aren't we from Adam and Eve? He looked at me like I was stupid. He said, what? And I looked, and because of my religious indoctrination, I looked at him like he was just another lost individual. No, he wasn't lost. He was just one of those people, a European, by the way, that wasn't subject to the slave book. Because they know that this book is nothing but just a book, a comic book at best, where you're going to get mystical stories and phenomenal works and superpowers and healing and raising and walking in hell and coming back. Mystical stories, bro. And not a single person could do that now. Under this Christianity movement, nobody can do that. You gotta ask yourself these questions, people. You gotta ask yourself these questions. You have to ask yourself these questions. How come nobody's moving no mountains? How come nobody is healing? Nobody? These dudes is 40 years in 40 years in such teachings, and not one soul has they healed. One soul has they risen. When you read the book, according to the book, this is not my belief. This is a factual statement. According to the book, your Savior said that if you fast, some casting out demons comes with fasting and praying. I know people that was fasting 40 days and 40 nights and still couldn't heal the people. Still can't cast out demons. Still can't connect to the other realm. What's causing that? Polytheism and monotheism. Let's get an in-depth understanding about it. The religious system of the Kushites was desperately polytheistic, involving veneration of multiple powers. There was no concept of monotheism, the belief in a single God in their righteous or spiritual beliefs. This differs significantly from the monotheistic traditions that would later dominate other parts of the world, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Later, meaning prior, we didn't know nothing about this. Even when you read the story of Abram, pay attention to the story. You gotta read it nice and slow. The Africans was worshiping. Remember, Nimrod is from Ham. He's black. Terah is black. They was worshiping other gods. The reason why when Abram made the food and it wasn't accepted, because Abram wasn't connected. Abram didn't connect to the other realm. Terah did though. Nimrod did though. Nimrod was instructed to take down the god of the Biblos, the Baal. Nimrod was your real savior. If you think about it, the man that dropped meteors on children, that drowned children, elderly women. You guys want the subtle story. Oh, the people was evil and wicked. Not everybody was evil and wicked. There was children, newborns, that drowned for the same God to later say, I'm not gonna flood the earth no more, but I know evil is that these children are being born with the evil in their hearts. They're being born with this. So you know that they're being born with evil. So why did you do it in the first place? Unless you have a high desire for bloodshed. Why would you do it in the first place if you know that this evil is in their hearts? They're born with this. And if they're born with this and they're coming from you, you're the one that's creating it. Why don't you stop that evil? Makes you question God. And then what people is going to tell you, this is what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you that, oh, you got your own choice. You got your own will. But why would God create something so perfect, knowing what the devil is putting there, put a man there and not tell him, look, man, this right here is of the devil? Why wouldn't God just get rid of the devil in his whole totality? That he disobeyed to your face. He violated to your face. And you ain't just execute him right then and there. You have the power to do so. But when we, the bare mortals, who is not even in your face, who never even seen you, do something wrong, we die and you allow us to go to hell? Something is not adding up. Some things don't make sense. So something that disrespected you, you're going to kick him out and put him in a space of something that you created so perfect. Why would you associate something so evil next to your prized creation, which is man? Because the story of the Biblos is not our story. Go ask any one of those people to explain, completely break down the Cain and Abel. Instead of saying, man, this joint don't make sense, we're saying now the story of Cain and Abel was an interjection. That story is not true. So then who's Cain? Where's Abel? Because his name is Abel, E-L. Now we question it. We don't know. Because the whole story is about them. It's about bloodshed, murder, some mystical stories, just like how they like it. And they suck you in because they put obey your master and slave ships. That's that's the reason for you to believe that this is about you. Those two, those two precepts right there determines a whole DNA genealogy bloodline. Just those two precepts right there. I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. Let us continue. The Kushite, I don't, let me change the religion. The Kushites' spirituality was closely tied to, listen carefully, was closely tied to what? Nature and the cosmic forces, as many of their gods had constructed constructions to natural phenomenons like the Nile River, fertility, and the sun. Their belief system revolved around maintaining harmony between the spiritual and the physical world, particularly through royal leaders like Queen Amanirenas, who were seen as the intermediates between the gods and their people. Remember, this is where you see people like Abram. You know, God spoke to Abram, and then Abram spoke to his servants, and the servants obeyed, and then this and that. It's the same thing. The stories are the same. But what they want you to believe that you must connect to their God. Lord is not your God. Yahweh is not your God. Yahweh is not your God. Yet Jehovah is not your God. Sunini Nanini has absolutely nothing to do with the God that's spoken of in the Bible. Have absolutely nothing to do with that. Your Savior that you guys are, that you're proclaiming exists has absolutely nothing to do with that. The Savior story, the New Testament, everything in the New Testament, this is facts. It is literally copy and paste material. All of it. So which lead, if it's all everything that I'm reading is a copy and paste, then that means that this story of a ascendancy is not true. And the creators of this universe is not in the Biblos. That's the information that's being suppressed. That's the information you're only gonna retrieve orally. The so-called the El Kebulan kidnaps aren't the seed of Shem. All it was a bunch of colored people that was taken from various locations and packed like a can of sardines. This is facts. This ain't no beliefs. If you take religion out the same, you think when these people was in these ships, you think these people was thinking about what we what religion you from? Yo, I'm from the seed of Shem, bro. Oh word, I'm Japhet. Oh word, no, all lies. How do you control people? You must divide them. How do you control people? You must divide them. How do you control people? You must divide them. Okay? Wake up, people. As a candidate, as a candidate, Amanias likely played a significant righteous role, spiritual role, not only as a political leader, but also as a priestess. Oh, priestess? Oh, those are evil guys. Figure who upheld righteous ceremonies and ensured the favor of the gods in warfare. Of the gods. You see, I'm emphasizing the gods in warfare. Death in her legacy. Amanirenas died around 10 BCE after ruling for approximately 30 years. Her reign is remembered for its military victories, its diplomatic prowess, and its role in securing the sovereignty of Kush. Legacy. Queen Amanirenas is celebrated as a symbol of African resilience against the colonial forces and as one of the most formidable leaders in African history, something that you guys don't know nothing about. Her defiance of Rome made her a legendary figure, and she remains a subject of admiration in discussions of powerful African queens and warriors. Queen Amanirenas religious reflect righteous. I meant to change this. I'm sorry, guys. Religion reflected a rich, complex blend of Nubian and Egyptian traditions, focusing on the pantheons of gods, including war deities like the Apedamek, the king of the gods, the Amun, and other deities related to fertility and the afterlife. Her righteous beliefs, like those of her people, were polytheistic, relying on a network of deities to guide, protect the kingdom, particularly during the times of conflict with foreign powers like Rome. Right? Cool. This is her achievements. She successfully defended her kingdom against the most powerful empire of the time, established a treaty to ensure Kushite sovereignty and freedom from the Roman tribute. She demonstrated that women could be effective military leaders and diplomatic, particularly in ancient African societies. Right? Here's the reference. You guys can go on history.com. See, I could click it. Queen Amanirenas. Or you can go to the World Atlas on Queen Amanirenas. Okay? Remember, emancipate from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Free yourself from Euro Christian ideology. Nobody's gonna save you, but us. WAWG. We are all we got. The rise won't be televised, but I was authorized to tell you guys. Round of applause for that. Yeah. Now, what she did has in common? You notice that she had the spiritual power that led to her physical power to defeat the most powerfulest military army at that time. What other factual history stood and held that same position or triumphed doing the same thing? Could it be the Haitians who at the time, people, withstand the most powerfulest army, which was the French army, and won? A little old. This wasn't big ass Kush, a little tiny island. And what did they have in common? They didn't come in there with the Euro Christian ideology. They didn't come into the Euro Christian ideology. When time was rough, they realized, oh, we gotta connect. When things was crazy, yo, hey, we gotta do our African rituals, our dance, our ceremonies. We gotta do all the chants, all of these things. Give us the strength. Everyone's in brothers and sisters getting on their knees, talking about Jesus, please. Lord, give me a sign. These niggas done lost their mind, thinking they gonna be left behind. Uh, uh. This is it. This is the facts. What I'm trying to let brothers and sisters understand is that this concept of this ideology that was given unto us by the oppressors is not it. And it will never be it. And while you sit thinking that this is the way it's gonna go, you're gonna forever be in this hole. You demonizing and critiquing your customs and your culture just shows that you're just not meant to be outside. Your rich culture, this Euro-Christian ideology, this colonial concept nonsense, this religious BS is now overtaking Africa to the point where it's Africans selling Africans, man. And all of these people that's doing the selling comes from some religious foundation. And who are they selling? Who are they taking? Who are they going after? They still going after the indigenous people who refuse to comply to the nonsense of these people. Children is being sold 20,000 a year just going to the Middle East. Going into Europe. Ukraine. Huh? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? But we so religiously divided and confused. We sitting here saying things like, but you know, these are not our relatives, man. You know, these people are they chose their God. Who is their God? Who is their God? Because the God that they're worshiping is probably Allah. Who is that? That's not ours. The God they probably worshiping is Jesus. That's not ours. The concept, the monotheistic ideology, that's not ours. We're imbalanced. We're not standing strong. You think you're standing strong. It's easy to say that you're standing strong when there's nothing going on. When these people was at war, something was going on. When the Haitians was in Haiti, something was going on. They couldn't rely on Jesus. They couldn't understand the concept. They couldn't process the sit still and wait for somebody to come. Jesus is soon coming because they know Jesus is what came. They can't. It's when we got free. It's when we started dabbling, putting our hands in the mix of such ideologies. And you see what the universe has done. You see what the creators have done. That's the true judgment. I have all this power for you guys, and you choose to walk in the ways of the enemy. I have redeemed you. I have poured the true essence, the universal order upon you, and you took it and you decided to infuse it with Christianity. You decided to infuse it with Islam. You decided to infuse yourself with their women, their daughters, their men. Nasty. You decided to do that. And when we started doing that, that's when we started falling. That's when we end up in these circumstances. That's how the story goes. Has nothing to do with no, oh, we curse you, we ain't keeping the laws. That's all BS. The laws and this nonsense and this ideology came to keep us where we at exactly right now. Exactly right now. Hopeful. There's hope for something is going to come and redeem you. They said our weapons is not cardinal. So how did the Haitians get their liberations? How did the Queen Amanirenas get her liberation? Everything. Everything is physical, but it's still so spiritual. What's your spiritual life like? What are you connected to at night? Who are you praying to at night? What are you what story are you associating with your creators? Last I checked, African culture and history was never put into the book by the enemy. Last time I checked, anything written, given unto slaves has to come with contradictions, plagiarism, and Satanism, all infused in one. That's your Biblos. Our history, our knowledge of self is oral. You need to go speak to the people directly. And not the people that has been sabotaged by the Euro-Christian ideology. You got to speak to the people that's still living in the jungles. That when they see you as a threat. You must prove to them that you're not an enemy. You must show them that you want to learn your history. We working on getting these funds up because I'm going out there, boy. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. We going out there. But when I go out there, I'm not coming out there with no Euro-Christian ideology. I promise you, you ain't gonna hear me say nothing about nothing coming out of the Biblos. I ain't gonna speak to the people and say, hey guys, you keeping the commandments? I'm not coming over there with the missionary mindset, the mercenary mindset. I'm not coming over there with that. I'm coming over there as a newborn baby, trying to find my mama. As a newborn baby, trying to find my dad. I'm coming over there trying to find who I am. Because if you telling me that we from such and such, people is still the 12 tribes chart is completely bogus, but brothers are still teaching it. Even in this truth. That means that, like I said, we're taking the Hebrew ideology, the Christianity ideology, the Islamic ideology, we're infusing it together, and now here comes the Bantu ideology. This is the Bantuisms. This is it. And our people have absolutely nothing to do with the Biblos. Absolutely nothing. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we going to remain here at the bottom? Are we going to wait? Are we going to wait for somebody to come to redeem us? Or are we going to dismantle all this ideology? Detox. Oh, severe detox. Face the trauma. Oh, yeah, face the trauma. Look at our mamas, our baby mamas, and say, we want all the drama. Not from them, but not from them, the ones that we love and impregnate and have families with, but from them that made them our baby mothers. It's a war, people. There's so much things that I be wanting to put up on this YouTube that I can't. Because these people will attack you. Whenever you get some level of momentum, they will attack. It's their platforms. Certain things would not be allowed. And I know my man's, he got his own live stream platform where you can upload, no censorship, upload whatever you want without any violations. But it's a black owned enterprise. And you already know, because of the Euro-Christian ideology, we don't support our own. We run to the master's work. We go to the master's house. It's better here than over there. My man's got a fan base, just like Instagram, but it's black owned. that um, Isaac Hayes Jr., his son, started his own IG, and black people don't even go on it. Black people rather be in the master's house because the slave house is just too dirty, or because the Euro-Christian ideology, I can't support this. I don't want to see another black man win. I don't want to see another black sister win. I don't want to see a black sister in power. The only time that they throw race at you is when it comes to political nonsense. And they know you so gullible, so weak-minded, so Euro-Christian destroyed, that they could just put anybody and put massive makeup to get them a little darker and say, yeah, I'm for the black people, even though this person has absolutely no connection from black people. They say, but her father was in Jamaica. No, he was an Indian in Jamaica. His mother was an Indian in Jamaica. A Chinese man in America does not make him an American. That culture is not in their DNA. Okay? I don't care if they could speak the patois better than me. That is not there from. That is not where they're from. If you ain't come here through slavery, if you ain't come here through misery and suffering and wrath and destruction and genocide, then you ain't from this side. And we don't just let anybody in. Okay, especially when you come from the other side of those that put us in these circumstances. Are you dumb or are you dumb? Huh? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We sit here and we observe people violate us every day. And the only thing we got to show for ourselves as black people is who knows more than each other. I know more than you. Everybody is, this is the way. If it was the way, we would be free already. It is not the way. But when I hear stories like this of Amaniah, and how she's connected to her spirituality, and how she wasn't following no monotheistic European ideology. Everybody that I know that never followed the Euro-Christian ideology always became triumph, always stood strong. But everybody that I'm around that's subject to that joint be the weakest and have the most pride in it all. The weakest and have the most pride of it all. What pride you have? That you gotta wake up and clock in every single day? That you gotta pay for water that's naturally coming from the sky? That you gotta pay for fruits that's naturally grown on the earth? You prideful about that? You think you know it all? You think because you got a few understandings, you got the big blows mastered from a T. This is the justification on why you don't need to worry about nothing. Because God is coming. The God of the Bible is on his way. The kingdom of Yahweh is on his way. Yahweh Shai is on his way. A God so powerful, but yet always doing petty sugar honey iced tea. Huh? So powerful, but it seems like you scared of the devil. How you so powerful and you wreak havoc on innocent people because they have been mentally overtaken by a demon that you know is a cancer to what you're doing, but you don't want to get rid of the cancer. You want to get rid of the patients that got cancer. Make that make sense. All powerful. It's not our God. It's not our God. That story is not about us. Only a fool would sit there and look at this and say, yes, this is about us. Why, sir? Deuteronomy 28, bro. Did you read that? You see what happened? You see what's going on? Did you ever ask yourself, maybe they put that there to justify them doing this nonsense to you? Nah, man, man can man don't have the power to do that, man. Only God could do that. What? What? Was it man that had the power to lock your ass up and throw you in jail for a crime you didn't commit? Is that man or is that God doing? Huh? Is it man the one that can run inside your daughter's house while she sleep and make his way onto her? Is that man doing or God's doing? Man don't have that power, right? The contradictions that come with this religion, the contradictions, the justifications that come with the evil on this earth according to the Biblos. Man's doing all of this, but your God can't even take down a little serpent. But the God could take down innocent children. Your God could take down innocent children, elderly women, numerous floods that's destroying civilization. Which you guys know that is also another lie, but just call it for what it is according to the Biblos. They say, "What, Jones? You saying the story of Noah's a lie?" It's a goddamn lie. 4 people cannot produce 8 billion people on this earth. That means people have to already been here. This is lies. This is their introduction to the world as he that wins the war can institute their history to the world. You're not reading about your history because you are not in power. You're not allowed to tap into your spirituality because you're not in power. You see, Chinese people, they can do whatever because they are in power. The Germans, the Jews, the original Hebrews, they can do whatever they want because they're in a position of power. Why can't you? And ever since you guys started calling on the original Hebrews gods, they got even more powerful to the point where they're buying your entire community. A neighborhood I once grew up in where it was nothing but black folks, Caribbean people. Yes, it was violent and all that, but that was because of them. It wasn't because of us. Beautiful. Is now being overtaken. Sky rises, buildings being put up every single week, month, year, to the point where you barely finding buildings. I mean, barely finding houses. And every time I see the owner, who is it? Another Jewish power with the Khan on his head and the hard hat on top of that. While we sitting here saying, this is our kingdom is gonna come, people. It's gonna come, I promise. The Mashiach. Jesus will come. He will reign supreme. Be thinking like that. Keep thinking like that. By the time you realize that all of this is nonsense, you're probably gonna be in a camp somewhere, held hostage, or on the verge of death. That's when you're gonna realize. And for those that take that long to realize, If there's any level of punishment that comes after death, all you guys deserve it. All of you. Because when you was alive and your job was to help remove such hedonistic, enemy created ideology from the people, you decided to side with the enemy. So you should pay just like the enemy. If there's any level of judgment, it's for anybody that refused to remove the Euro-Christian ideologies from the true, not just the Bantus, but the El Kebulan kidnap. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. Came to you guys live. You know what I came here to do. I don't come to play. I come to tell the truth. Or should I say, I come to speak the facts, because I can't tell you truth because there's no truth in this world. We only can speak on the facts because it's facts over the beliefs. He that believes on me is going to hell if it's not in hell or jail already. But he that know who he is will be able to move forward, because this rise will never be televised, people. But I, your brother man, from the motherland, El Kebulan, was authorized to tell you guys. You understand? So people, if it's your first time, I hope it's not your last time. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, that means I'm still on your mind. That means we got to stay on that grind, because it is about that time. Time to do what? Time for you guys to go get yours, because your brother man is out to get. Yeah. And if I say it once, I'm going to say it again. I am him, Jules, the NBIC, a.k.a. Mr. Keep My Foot on all necks, especially all religion. You understand? And I'm going to holler at y'all. One.